In today's episode, I talked to Franz Madlener, a lifelong entrepreneur and an investor, a man who's been behind the success of many nationwide Australian brands, some of it which includes Podium Sports, Vill and Bonbon's Bakery. Franz shares about his triumphs, his failures, and lessons that he learned along the way. So buckle up and let's get going. Alright guys, welcome to the first episode of Drive with an Entrepreneur. Today we have a very special guest. Franz, come on in.
I'm looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, mate. Does this car take me there?
That's it, man.
Hey,
Jump in.
hero. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Good to you. Have you been alright?
Very good, mate. Very good. I thought that was you.
Bloody hell, after 4 years, Franz.
4 years I've been standing on the roadside here waiting for the perfect car to come past.
That's it, and here we are on
And
a
here you are.
1977 Jag.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wait, tell me about the car.
Well, it's British green, 40 years old, and I'll tell you what, Franz, it's got a lot of personality, this car. There's a story to be told here, but I'm sure you have a story to be told.
Mate, not as much as this car, but we'll give it a go. Let's drive off.
Let's drive. Let's get
Good to
right
see you again, brother.
Likewise. All right. Let's start at the beginning. All right. The first question I always wanted to ask you is, who is an entrepreneur?
Wow. Gee, you went straight into it, didn't you? Eh? Hey, like not cutting any corners. That's a really good question. I think we're all born entrepreneurs. I think entrepreneurship is something that is genetically inside us.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a certain event to happen to enable that to come out. Within all of us, we want to achieve something, do something. We've all got an ambition inside us, and sometimes we just need to find the key that unlocks that's there. I don't think you can teach entrepreneurship, but I think you can help people to have that entrepreneurship come to the surface and to really try to find out what it is that people want to do.
So you said we are born entrepreneurs.
Yep.
You obviously started becoming an entrepreneur at a very young age. Tell us a bit about that story.
Yeah, but at the time you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur. You just you see an opportunity, and particularly when you're young, you're not looking at the obstacles. You're just looking at the opportunity itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was entrepreneurial. I used to sell football magazine at the football at Waverley Park, which is not too far from here, where we're driving. Yeah. And the other kids that used to make money there, they used to sell the drinks and the chips and the pies and the sausage rolls in these containers that they held over there.
Something that you don't see nowadays, isn't it?
No, you don't actually anymore.
Yeah.
No, that's
all
a
these
good
regulations
point.
and all that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so during the summer, they all sat empty there at Waverley Park, which became AFL Park or VFL Park.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the guy who looked after all of that, and I said, "Can I borrow some of these over summer?" I saw the opportunity that if I could take them down the beach and fill them full of cold drinks and ice creams and walk up and down the beach, there could be a little bit of money to be made.
So, Franz, you mentioned about the word failure. Obviously, a word highly published in the world of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Some people say failure is a good thing. Would you?
Do you think failure is a good thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you learn from failure.
Do you?
But don't you? What's your take on that?
But it's such a great question, because everyone says, oh well, you learn from failure, and failure can make you a better person and more resilient, and we can learn from other people's failures. But do we really? I mean, if failure was a good thing, then why do we all try to avoid failure at any cost?
That's a good point.
Right? So if it was a good thing, we'd all say, well, let's see how we can fail, and because that's a good thing, and then we can learn from it and go forward.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people that say failure is a good thing and you learn from failure are probably people that have failed and are trying to put a little bit of a positive spin on it.
Trying to make it look good.
Now, I think I am entitled to have this opinion because I have failed in a spectacular way.
Tell us a bit more about it, Franz.
And so, you know, I think it's easy to say, oh well, failure isn't a good thing, or people who say failure is a good thing, it's a shocking thing. It's a horrible thing. Failure should be avoided at all cost. But you know, the reality is, Nero, that most entrepreneurial ventures, statistically, will fail.
Yeah.
And failure can come in all sorts of different ways. Failure can be that the idea that we had in the beginning didn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
Failure can be not driving when it's actually green. There you go, there's a failure.
Good, nice. It's a good one.
Failure can simply be that that the idea that we had and the passion that we had for the idea we could never bring to life. Failure can be financial, where we can lose millions and millions of dollars and lose our livelihoods, lose our home, lose our family, lose our sanity. And so that can be failure as well.
So you said you failed in a great way.
Oh, spectacular.
Yeah, that's the word. How do you identify? Tell us a bit about your failures in this business world, Franz. And I guess more importantly, what you learned from it.
Failure is something that is different internally to how people perceive your failure. So externally, people would have seen the failure that I had as I lost my businesses. There's a whole lot of awful negative publicity in the newspapers about the failure that I was going through. There was a massive financial impact, the financial ruin that was there, and then the imminent bankruptcy or Part 10 that I went through. That's the failure that's perceived. Internally, the failure is none of that. The failure is that this absolute belief that you had for the passion that was your life, the belief that you had in what you were doing was going to work, for that not to work. That's the hardest thing to come to grips with. That's where the failure is, that you didn't get to the top of the mountain. It's not that you didn't actually make the climb. It's that the belief that you had that you would be able to make the climb to the top of the mountain didn't come to fruition. So it's an emotional failure inside you. So that's one of the hardest things to come to grips with. And the impact that has on your mental well-being is massive.
Let's touch briefly on a brand that you built, which is Vill and Hut. Right? And you build this from grounds up. A lot of blood, sweat and tears goes into it. I'm sure many sleepless nights were spent on it. And then you sell it to a public company, and then you see Vill and Hut crumble down.
Yeah, absolutely. And
how did you feel then?
Well, gutted that the brand that I sold to what I thought was this fantastic public company, that they destroyed it so quickly, and then they collapsed. Vill and Hut was collapsing around it, and it was gut-wrenching. But what was horrible about it was that there wasn't really anything that I could do about it anymore. So certainly I went back in there and I worked with the franchisees and I worked with all the people involved to do what we can, and we bought it back off the liquidator and we sold it through to private equity, and the brand still goes today. It's still a very successful cafe brand in the airports around Australia. But along the way, it cost me pretty much everything. It sent me bankrupt, and it cost me my sanity, to the extent where the stress and pressure of the failure, it put me in hospital.
Wow, that's unbelievable, isn't it, to have that kind of impact?
And it's something, Nero, that I well, I've never really spoken about before publicly. Well, it's only you and I in a car, mate.
Yeah,
so,
well, no one
so
else
it's okay. No one else would know.
except us.
But it's easy. It's actually easy to get lost in the conversation when you're sitting in the car here.
Yeah.
And but yeah, look, it after it was all said and done with Villa and Hutt, and the company had been sold through to private equity, and I'd gone through the bankruptcy. It took its toll, and I had a nervous breakdown, and ended up in the hospital at Monash University, and was in there for about 10 days in the ward.
Yeah.
And it was a complete nervous breakdown.
Nervous breakdown, yeah. Obviously, that's the dark clouds in that time period. But obviously, you got over it, and then. Well,
but it took some time, because places like that, whilst it's a physical building that you've sort of has held you there for 8 days or 10 days, even when you come out, mentally you're still there, and it's you've got to escape from that mentally, and that took a long time. But no matter how spectacular the failure is, you've got to find a way of reigniting the fire inside, and you've got to find within you the belief that you had that was there initially. If there was a fire in the belly somewhere in the beginning, even when everybody else around you did everything they could to put that fire out, it's there somewhere, and you've just got to find that spark again, and find that fire in the belly again, and get up and have another go.
Well, talking about that experience, Franz, the question that I wanted to ask was, is it good to be emotionally attached to your brand or the business that you created? Obviously you were, and you went through it, but I guess in a startup world you have to think of an exit strategy, right? But
but when you say emotionally connected, if you are an entrepreneur, you usually doing something because you believe in something. You believe in your idea, you believe in the opportunity, so
you go the extra mile because you believe in it.
That's right, so you're automatically connected emotionally to it. Very few entrepreneurs that are truly successful, their only vision is, I can do this because I can make money. Most truly successful entrepreneurs will say, I can see an opportunity in this that nobody else has yet seen, I'm going to make this happen. And it's at that point there where, of course, you're going to become emotionally connected.
All right, let's say we have an idea, right? And obviously, idea in itself is not enough, as you touched on. Let's say we have an idea, a great team. How do we ensure that it's commercially viable?
Well, it's in the early stages of trying to bring an idea to market. You've really got to have a shotgun approach, insofar as you look at every possible way that your idea can be brought to market or can be capitalised. And it's almost about trying to put 100 ideas, 100 ways onto paper. What are 100 ways that we could commercialise this, or we could raise capital, or we could raise awareness, and go after each one of those ways with the same ferocity as you would for the one that you thought was the best way. Because you never really know which way is the best way to commercialise an idea, or what opportunity is the best opportunity, or which door you knock on is the one that's actually going to open. And often you'll see an entrepreneur have a great idea, start the process of trying to commercialise it, raise capital, runs out of ideas, runs out of opportunities, runs out of money, runs out of steam. Somebody else picks it up, repackages it, takes it back to market again, and all of a sudden it becomes something quite amazing. And it's not that the idea is any better or any different, but there was a different approach taken to take it to market.
Yeah.
Different thinking, and so it's my advice that I always give is don't just look at one way to take an idea to market. Try to find as many ways possible, even ones that you might think could possibly never work. Often they're the ones that do.
And an idea that you took to market recently was Bonbon's Bakery. Tell us a bit about how that came to be.
Yeah, it's
By the way, I love the food in there.
addictive, not healthy. Not healthy, but
for sort of an express kind of takeaway kind of thing. I go to the one in Chadstone. Love it.
Well, if you don't know what Bonbons is, Bonbons is it's very much an pure Asian Chinese concept, Korean concept of grab and go food, bread-based food products.
Okay. Yeah.
And so there's some very clever Chinese business people, an incredible amount of respect for, who took what was basically a Asian concept, brought it to Australia, and we wanted to westernize it, to build it into a credible Western brand that we could take back to China as a Western brand with a Chinese concept. So basically taking a Chinese concept to Australia, westernizing it, turning it into a Western brand, and then taking it back to China. For the simple reason that a Western brand has a lot more credibility
than a local brand.
Local brand. And I thought that was a fascinating business.
Oh, what a great idea that is.
Model. So so that took up about 4 years of my life, and we started with one store and we built it up over here to a national franchise brand. We 2 years in a row won Emerging Franchisor of the Year, and we even won Victoria's Best Pie, Best Mint Pie. But all of that was for no other reason than to build a credible Western brand. And then once we had the branding there, we took that brand back into China, and now the brand is operating in China as a Western brand, which is great.
What a great success story that is.
Yeah. The advantage today of starting a business is that you've got access to information that you never had years ago.
The internet, right?
Well, but it's not just the internet, it's just access to information. It's access to information, however you get that. The thing about starting a business today is that the speed to market is what's different. So a generation ago, you weren't in such a hurry to get it to market. You could take your time to get it right. The pressure of getting it to market quickly now is a lot more, and that's simply because the amount of people that you're competing with out there that have similar opportunities in a global environment. So,
like for example, if you are selling some sort of a product that's made in China, the chances are that your product could be replicated, or it could come from the same supplier of that product, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you have an idea for an app, if you spend 2 years or 3 years conceptualizing it and doing all the behind the scenes work and then bringing it to market, it's too late. You want to make sure that if you've got an idea and you truly believe in it, and the entrepreneurial fire in the belly says to you, this is it, this is the idea, then you need to move heaven and earth as quickly as possible to bring that idea to market. Don't worry about trying to get it perfect. Perfect it along the way, but just make it happen. If you want to get this thing to market, don't overthink it. Just get it going. And get the buy-in from people along the way, but just get it started. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Now, Franz, thanks for coming in.